Terry Kachanis, your host of the Psychic Holistic Spotlight. With me this evening is Josie Way and Ken Demers, and we're here with Terry Wildermann. Hi, Terry. Thank you for joining the show with us tonight.
I'm really excited.
Tell us a little bit more about you and what you do.
Well, Sherry, what I do is I work with entrepreneurs and help them become attractionpreneurs.
Excellent.
And I do that using all kinds of fun, juicy tools.
Juicy tools. Tell us more.
Okay. I'm very fortunate to have a very strong business background. However, I'm also a holistic practitioner. And I became a holistic practitioner because there were so many things that I needed to heal in myself that everything that I learned was for me first. And then I knew I could begin using it in my practice, my coaching practice and my training practice. So it just seemed like I kept being divinely guided to all these different places, especially when health issues came up. And what I learned is in business, when we're not successful, there are often emotional barriers that are in the way. So everything that I do is to help clear out a lot of the emotional crap, dirt, junk that is in the way of helping us become successful in our businesses.
Well, that's excellent. And one of the things you just said that is really important, and I think it's necessary for us to really point out, is that we have to help ourselves first before we can help anyone else.
Yeah. That's so true. And we tend to shift away from that. We're often so worried about everybody else that we forget about ourselves. And the best way to illustrate that is on the airplane when the flight attendant says to you, put the mask on yourself first so then you can help other folks. And that is so important because if you don't put the mask on yourself first, that oxygen mask, we all need oxygen in order to be able to keep ourselves healthy so that we can be there for other people. And I will never forget one woman in one of my workshops who said to me, there's no way I'm going to put it on myself first. I have to help my child first. And I was like, then your child isn't going to have a mom if that happens. And she looked at me and said, what do you mean?
If she dies before she gets it on the child.
Exactly. I said, if you, and I was a little bit irreverent, I said, if you croak, how's that going to help your kid? And she just looked at me, she said, what do you mean? I said, if you don't give yourself the oxygen, how are you going to be there to help your child? So your child can wait a couple seconds for you to put that oxygen mask on, so then you can be there in mind, body, and spirit for your child and help your child and everyone else around you. And it really took her a long time to understand that we truly need to take care of ourselves in mind, body, and spirit so that we can be there for other people. We can be there for our children, our spouses, et cetera, our businesses, our customers.
Now, you're taking somebody that's already in business or somebody that wants to be in business?
I have worked with both. I prefer working with people who've already been in business for 3 to 5 years. I love working with newbies. However, with the newbies, there are so many other things that I direct them to where they need to get the practical, tactical information. I do work with that. However, I prefer working with the practical, tactical, and logical information with people who already have existing businesses, who are not being successful. I don't like to use the word not, and you'll understand why a little bit later when we talk more about law of attraction. But for people who are struggling in business, I love that energy of being able to cut through what it is that is in their way and identify those things and then get into the practical, tactical, and logical.
Now, are they asking you to help them establish goals, or are they saying, these are my goals, and how do we get to them?
We do that together because oftentimes they'll set their goals, and I can intuitively see by looking at their goals, especially if it's goals that they've had for the last 5 years and they haven't achieved them, I can intuitively see what is working and what is not working, and we work together to see, are these goals you really want? Are these goals really coming from your heart, or are these goals coming because somebody else in your life is saying that you need
this
to
is what
achieve
you should
those
be
goals?
doing?
You need to achieve
So
a certain level.
I look at the whole enchilada, I look at the whole picture in order to be able to help someone really achieve the goals that they want from the heart as well as the head.
Because I'm thinking that it's got to be really difficult for people starting out to have a realistic idea of what they're trying to manifest out into their life.
Well, it's hard if we expect it to be hard. Again, law of attraction. If we expect things to be hard, they're going to be hard. With just the right coach, with just the right questions, a lot of the answers just bubble to the surface.
Yeah.
And it makes life a little bit easier when you're looking at the questions from the heart and the head. I have techniques where I work with both sides. Again, the logical, practical, and tactical side, as well as the emotional side. And then we put it all together. And when you look at the entire picture, then you can easily see who is your ideal client. And that can shift. One of the mistakes that we make is we think that this is granite. No, it's not granite. As you grow, as your business grows. As your business grows, your clientele may change.
Yeah, the economy changes.
Well,
And-
I
and
don't
what
even bring the economy in.
But in order to, I shouldn't say but, in order to attract people, you have to know what's going on in the economy and be able to give them what they can afford.
Well, I take a completely different approach to that. I don't even bring the economy in. Because once we start to bring the economy in, we are actually in a place of lack.
That's right.
We're in a huge place of lack from a law of attraction perspective when we keep focusing on, well, this is the economy, this is the economy. And I'm going to share with you, I was in that place a few years ago. And what I realized was every time I worked with the economy, oh, this person can't afford this or this person can't afford that, my coach kicked my tail and told me, get rid of the economy. Stop focusing on the economy. And once I stopped focusing on the economy, it was miraculous how all of a sudden these people who kept saying, I can't afford this, I can't afford that, I can't do this, I can't do that, they automatically found the money
Well,
to do what needed to be done in order to help them get to
do
the
you
next
have
level.
to kind of educate people how well manifesting works?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, I was amazed a few years ago that book, The Secret, came out, and I said, what are they talking about? And then I finally figured out the secret was manifesting, which everybody been doing for a couple thousand years,
Oh, absolutely.
100,000 years.
Well, you brought up something where the secret is concerned. What the secret did was it opened the door to people understanding that they are in control, that they actually can manifest
They're part of God.
They're
what they want.
co-creators.
They're co-creators.
That's right.
However, there are 3 steps to the law of attraction. And the 3 steps, if they are followed appropriately, will help you manifest what it is that you want.
Okay. Tell the world what they
I
are.
am going to tell you what those 3 steps are.
And this is the law of attraction,
This is
correct?
the law of
That's
attraction,
right.
and there are many universal laws. The law of attraction is only one of many universal laws. It happens to be the one that is the most popular right now.
And the most powerful right now.
Right now,
because
it is big-
people
You're
are
right.
finally learning to create intentionally rather
That's
than
exactly right.
unintentionally.
And it is in the Bible. Ask and it is given. It is in the Bible. So let's look at these steps. Step number 1, identify your desire. What is your desire? Step number 2, give that desire attention. I'm going to give an example of how that works. We're military, and when we moved here, within 3 years we knew we wanted to stay in the state of Rhode Island, and we started searching for a home. I had a list written down, identify your desire. I had a list written down of everything I wanted, everything I didn't want. It was so clear, and that list was there. Boom, boom, detail, 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 detail. How many bedrooms? The living room and the dining room on the same side. A step down into the den with the Berber carpet. I wanted this many bedrooms and this kind of landscaping, and on and on and on. Down to, I just threw it in for fluff, a hammock between 2 trees and a wooden swing in the backyard for the kids. I wanted a finished den, a finished basement. And I wanted a place to be able to put all of my arts and crafts stuff, and a second refrigerator so my husband could put his libations in there, and that kind of thing. And I mean, so the list was very, very extensive. And I kept looking for it and looking at it and looking at this list and saying it over and over and over again. And again, I didn't know what I was doing, but it was identify my desire. Number 2 is give your desire attention. I gave my desire attention by actively looking for what I wanted. Not settling. I'm going to use the word not here. Not settling. Several things came close. Several came close. However, I knew that I would know what my home, when my home was there in front of me. Kept giving it, kept giving it, kept giving it attention. Step number 3 is allowing. This is the most difficult and challenging step of all 3. This was in 1998. In 1998, I was writing my very first book, my first of 6 books.
On what subjects? I shouldn't.
We'll
come back to that.
get that later. We were adopting a baby and looking for a home. So you can imagine the stress levels were just off the charts. I finally said to my husband, let's put the house, let's continue renting in the home we're in. Let's put the house situation on the back burner because I was just out of control. I was so stressed out. It was just too much. The day we made that decision, the very next day in the newspaper, this house showed. I'm looking at this house going, you've got to be kidding me. Where did this come from? Now, allowing is the most challenging of all 3 steps. And that allowing piece is about letting go of control. When we keep trying to control everything really tight, which I was, it was so hard. I had myself so stressed out. It just was ridiculous. When I let go of control and shifted to a place of, it's all yours. It is all yours. I'm done. The very next day. And I looked at that list that I had written. Every single thing on that list, including the hammock between 2 trees, including
Isn't it amazing? Huh?
the swing set in the backyard, including the refrigerator in the basement, including the right number of beds, everything was there.
When I teach people how to manifest, I tell them to write it down and then put it away for 3 months and then take it out and then review it and put it away again. What you're saying.
Well,
Let it work.
it's not getting a lot of attention, but it's getting allowed a lot.
Okay.
It's a different definition of a lot of. I did the same thing that she did for her house, and I got exactly what I asked for.
Me too.
Took 2 years.
Yeah.
3 times.
There you go.
When the first time, 3 years later, after I did it, I took a class of Pat Morgan out in Forster, and the first time I saw it, I said, mini estate in Lincoln, 10 acres, $32,000, what can that be? I pushed it away. That's the 4th thing. You have to act on it then or it passes you by.
And we call that inspired action in coaching.
Well, whatever you want to call it. The next night, I did the same thing. And then Saturday morning, I says, you know what, let me call. And the guys, and it wasn't there, and I was doing some work for a woman, and I was getting so much for the job, so it didn't matter how long I took. I was helping her little 6-year-old daughter make birdhouses, and the woman freaked out. So I went home, and the real estate agent had just called him back. He says, I can't let you in the house. I drove by the house, drove back by it, and bought it. Never got out of the car. But it was exactly what I wanted. An old house, 10 feet from the property line. I could subdivide it, apple tree in the backyard. Right, exactly. So it works. I agree with you. And she's
really
verifying
works.
us that too for her.
It really works. So that happens to be a house.
Yeah.
This applies
To
to anything and everything because law of attraction works 24/7. Law of attraction does not have a brain.
No.
Law of attraction does what we tell it to do, whether it's positive or negative.
Well, aren't you the law of attraction?
We are the law.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In your
we
own
are the law of
individual
attraction.
case.
That's why I'm saying it's 24/7.
Yeah.
We are walking, talking law of attraction.
But you can't dwell on it, like you said. It's like people grieving. That grieving is not good either. You got to let things go.
Well, yes and no. Here's the thing with the word can't. When we say we can't dwell on it, the moment we say we can't dwell on it, we're actually giving attention to the dwelling.
That's right.
Okay, because there are 3 words in law of attraction to stay away from. Don't, not, and no. And then I always add in can't and try.
And what I add to it is this or better.
And this or better. Absolutely. That's beautiful to add at the very end of your mantra. Or, that's a wonderful, or your prayer, whatever you want to call it. Affirmation or affirmation, depending on, which technique you're using. But when we stay away from the words, don't, not, know, it actually transforms your language. It actually transforms even how you write. You'll be very surprised in your emails when you start stepping away from don't, not, know, how your emails begin to change, how your writing begins to change, because it forces you to go into this positivity that it's absolutely magnificent how you start to look at your writing and realizing, wow, there's a can't, there's a no, there's a not, there's a, and you start looking at it, it's like, wow, let's change this phrase, let's change this sentence around. And the positivity just naturally emerges. And the word try,
you either do or you don't. There's nothing
exactly
in between. So why would you try anything? Because try is almost sort of setting yourself up to fail.
Yes. So instead of
Not
try,
sort of, you either do or you don't.
You don't. And it's the energy of commitment.
That's right.
When you employ the energy of commitment versus trying is always about there's a back door, there's an escape.
Yeah, so
There's
I'm
an
not held
escape hatch
accountable.
with the word try. Whereas with the word committing, you got it. You got it. You're there.
The other word that's dangerous is, from an emotional perspective, is the shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Oh, absolutely.
That combination.
Absolutely.
Those are also, they bring up a lot of negative.
They really do. The shoulda, woulda, couldas. And the shoulda, woulda, couldas is often about I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, it's a lack of self-worth. However, sometimes it's good to go to that place momentarily. Contrast is a good thing. One of the things about law of attraction, you looking at the stuff that didn't work momentarily. When we own it too much, that's where it creates problems. That's where we start to get sick. As you know, as a healer, that's where we start to own stuff and get into a hamster wheel.
To kind of question what you're saying, when you try it and it doesn't work for you, you analyze it and change the wording of it again and just continue with the process. You don't stop doing it. You continue, only different.
Try is about energy. So
everything is energy.
Everything is energy. So I'd like to give you a mathematical equation, if I may.
Probably not, but go ahead.
Okay, probably not, but go ahead. Here we go. A mathematical equation about the law of attraction to answer your question. Your perception is what you an event happens. You have a perception about that event, okay? Plus, that perception creates words. So you've got your perception, which is number one. Those perceptions create words. Now those words
come from
create positive or negative thoughts. So we've got a perception which is either positive or negative, which creates either a positive or negative word, which creates positive or negative thoughts, which then creates positive or negative vibes. And those positive or negative vibes create your results. So A plus B plus C plus D equals E. And I look at E as energy and emotions. Because energy and emotions creates your results based on your perception, plus which create your words, which create your thoughts, which create your vibes, which then take us to the results that you're experiencing. So when we're trying, the perception is there's always a back door, there's always an exit. So when you're trying instead of committed, the thoughts wrap around that. A perfect example of that is going for the lottery.
I've done that.
How many times do we go and we buy a $1 ticket, and in the back of our mind we're saying, oh, why am I doing this? I'm just wasting $1. So we're going through the actions, we're trying, okay? The perception is we're trying, and the thoughts, it's creating words of, yeah, right. Which creates thoughts of, yeah, right. Which creates vibes of, yes, I'm going through the actions of, yeah, right. And lastly, of course, the results.
That's very interesting. I like that.
Yeah. I also think trying has another side to it, and it's almost as if you're saying, this is actually more than I can do. It's got a hidden can't built in there.
Yes, I agree with you.
So, what is it, the in your schedule, 4 things, the last one being the vibration, is that what's going into your subconscious and causing the work to be done?
The vibes is what law of attraction is all about.
I mean, but it's going into your superconsciousness, your subconscious, whatever you want to call it, that actually causes it to come about.
It's really, my perception is that it's the thought. When you start with the thought, it's the intention behind that thought. So if you're in a positive place, like attracts like. So if you're thinking negative, that's what you're going to attract. And if you're thinking positive, that's what you're going to attract, because you can have a positive emotion or a negative emotion, but you can't have them simultaneously.
Exactly. Law of attraction.
So it's actually the first one.
You only have one.
Yeah.
It's either positive
perception and
or
thought.
negative, just like you said.
The intention, yeah.
And the intention is really the power behind it all, wouldn't you say?
Exactly. Absolutely. Intention is huge.
A few years ago, I read an article about, they did some research with the Fortune 500 CEOs, and most of them, when they were in college, like 90% of them, had visioned themselves to be the head of a major company. And they were.
Yeah.
And that's not a surprise.
It's they fulfilled their
What
destiny.
they
They
manifest.
created, they manifested it. It's the same thing with Olympians. It's the same thing with athletes. Athletes who use visualization, and that's a visualization technique, what you just mentioned with those folks. When you keep seeing yourself achieving what it is that you want, it's already done.
That's right.
It's already done.
Yeah. It's just a matter of
It's just a matter of
time to unfold.
allowing it to unfold. With the Olympians, they see themselves there. They feel themselves there. They own it.
They
the
can
energy
hear
is
it.
that
They can smell it.
Exactly.
As if it's now.
It is, and that's part of the visualization.
What were the other books?
The very first book is 1-800-Courtesy, Connecting with the Winning Telephone Image. It's all about telephone skills. And the irony was, it was written in 1998. And the irony of it is that at that time, I was stepping into spirituality, and my publisher was having a really hard time with my writing it from a very heart-centered place back there. So, and I read the book now, and it is still spot on. The only thing is I have to change the cell phone.
Say it again.
1-800-Courtesy, Connecting with the Winning Telephone Image. So it's all about how to work the phones.
To put an image across to the person that you're talking to in business, I guess, or in anything, I
It's
guess.
how to work the telephone, how to answer the phone appropriately, how to answer the phone. There's really a lot of law of attraction in there, even before I understood law of attraction in there, on how to set the stage when you pick up the phone and what you're expecting from the other side, what questions to ask. How to answer the phone appropriately when it's mostly inside customer service. So you set the stage for how you want your day to be. You set the stage from a behavioral perspective as well as an intention perspective, where that book is concerned.
And book 2?
Book 2 is Success in High Heels. The next 5 books were anthologies.
Oh, I've heard of that one.
Yes, Success in High Heels, international best-selling. The next 4 were international bestsellers. Success in High Heels, Hot Mama in High Heels, The Missing Piece in Business, Bold is Beautiful, and oh geez, which is the one I'm missing?
The Intelligence. The new one. I can see the cover. It's orange and...
Oh, Unlock the Power of You.
Yeah.
Goodness.
I like
Unlock
the name.
Power of You.
I like that one.
Yeah,
What-
and then my
talk
next
about
one
that
comes out in January.
What's the power of you?
Unlock the Power of You is an anthology written by 12 of us, of which more than half of us are certified law of attraction trainers. And we get into goal setting, we get into decision making. I specifically speak about creating a positive business in that book. Every person is a professional who writes about a specific piece in business.
Okay, you got somebody come walking in the door, and they know they want to be successful, but they don't know how to make a goal. Do you teach them how to create goals?
We do talk about goal setting, and we do that. I have an actual class workshop that I've delivered on goal setting. However, one of the things about goal setting is a wonderful thing, but it's like, how often do we set goals at the beginning of the year, and within 30 days, poof, they're gone. So it's a different type of quote-unquote goal setting. It's goals where there's intuitive action behind it, as well as concrete action behind these goals. So it's not just about setting the goals, it's what needs to be done for each of the goals in order to be able to achieve them. So it goes way beyond goal setting. It goes into achieving dreams. It goes into what inspired action needs to be taken in order for those goals to be achieved. And are those goals the right goals? And it's about giving yourself permission to bob, weave, and shift.
What you really want.
Yeah, it really is to be able to bob, weave, and shift as we move forward, because life changes.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'm used to things more simplified. Okay, I want to own a nice pot of flowers. And
A nice part of what?
flowers.
Okay.
And you cause it into being, and somebody walks up to you next week and says, here, I don't have room for this. Take it. You know,
That's manifesting, that's law of attraction. However, the question you asked was goal setting,
Yeah.
and where business is concerned, there are specific tasks that need to be involved in order to be able to achieve what we want.
so there's not a simplified
It's
answer.
not as simple as just.
They got to read your
drafting.
book.
Okay. We'd love to have you do that.
Okay, so what other subjects you got? What else did you do?
Oh, heavens.
So, if I hear you correctly, the law of attraction, the 3 steps are to first decide what it is that you want.
Correct.
2, to put action into that by looking or some type of action. And then the 3rd step is to receive, and that is done by just letting it go.
That's right.
Yeah.
That 3rd step is allowing. Get into a place of receiving. That's the preferred. So allowing
Ask, believe, receive.
Ask, believe, allow.
Allow.
To be able to receive.
And then the
Yes.
4th one, which is the most important, is when whatever you're manifesting for and is presented to you, you have to take it then, or it moves away.
And if you want to add a 5th one, you say thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Always
thank
a
you.
thank you.
But you have once you've brought it into being, you have to take it then, or the opportunity leaves.
Or it can manifest future, but it's not going to, it may look different. It may look differently.
You might have to manifest it a second time.
That's right. That's right.
Excellent. Well, Terry, thank you so much for being a guest today on our show. I'm sure we have lots more questions for you. And thank you, Ken and Josie, for your input as well. Any other questions for Terry before the show closes out?
We love to ask for one question. If there's one thing that you would tell an actionpreneur, what would it be?
Always follow your heart.
And we have to do a whole show on that.
Always follow your heart.
What's the next book?
The Enchanted Boardroom.
The Enchanted Boardroom?
Boardroom.
As in CEO.
How to evolve into an unstoppable, intuitive leader.
That would be a good one to make sure that's what you want to be.
Yep.
Excellent.
Okay. What do
That's
we-
all
we're
for
out of time?
today. Thank you so very much.
Ta-da!
Thank you for viewing us.